Mr. Money. You know, we have a lot of people come through here. They got the names, the names of Money and Money that, and getting more money this. But he's really
They be talking food stamps. They talking about the real money, man.
I hope they're not talking food stamps. I pray that they're not talking food stamps for you guys. But we have a man not talking food stamps.
Absolutely.
We got Kurt. Kurt, if you could please give me the proper pronunciation of your name, because I love when you say it, then I say it out.
So it's Kurt Rupprecht.
Kurt Rupprecht.
The man can roll his tongue. Did you see that?
Well, he lived in Central and South America.
Oh, that'll do it.
So he could do the...
That'll do it.
If you could let everybody know where they can find you at, your IG, your website, even yours, if you'd like to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's I'm with K Street Financial. So that's our IG, K and Street Financial. And that's also our URL for our website. So it's www.kstreetfinancial.com. And then my personal page is Kurt Patrick 703.
Kurt Patrick 703. DMV.
Hey.
DMV.
I
know that's 703. That means he lives in the good side of town. You got that good 703 area code. I think they changed the area code.
I'm in Virginia and I don't even have a 703.
What do you have?
904.
That's the new area code.
That's the new one, yeah.
No, I'm Florida. That's Florida.
Oh, that's right. You do got Florida.
571 is
that's Jackson.
What you think? 540? 571? 540?
Is that outside Richmond now?
Yeah.
But 571 is all in that.
Yeah, that'd be no
That's Trailer Park, Virginia.
Hilarious.
Amen.
I got a 202 and a 771.
Oh.
You got a whole lot of that too.
That's the new one. The 771.
771.
That's the new 202. Yeah, that's the new DC number.
Wow. They
I
ran out of numbers.
But I also have a 305 too, though.
That's you. That's
I gotta have my 305.
That's just all you.
Where can they find you at?
Hey, it's your girl Fauna. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I'm looking at Big Go, and I'm looking at Super Live to be joining those soon.
Wow.
I'm also on YouTube, so I'm everywhere you want to be.
You literally getting more everywhere.
Anyway, I can go live.
I know Super Live because that got big off of makeup. But that's huge. They're making money over there.
Yes, they are.
And what Big Go?
Big Go, BIGO.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you're blowing my mind. Every time I look around, there's another one. I'm at Super Saiyan Santi. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to get there. At Super Saiyan Santi, but most importantly, at AGNB Podcast.
Yes.
All Gas, No Break Podcast.
Yes.
I want to shout out my boy, my engineer, the extraordinaire, the man over there at Rex Corollas. He is tapped in. He's killing it. The sound is great. What do you think about the sound? What do you think about the sound?
Sounding good.
Sounds good, don't it? And he is not playing. He is mixing everything at this current moment. And I test him. I test him. So, Kurt, thank you for being here. Shout out to my boy OG.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you so much because I believe, and thank you for reaching out to us because the topic that you're bringing to us is very important in all communities. In all communities. But primarily our community.
Yes.
I know we don't talk about it much.
No.
What made you get into this industry? What made you trigger you to go, this is what I want to do?
Yes, it's a good question. We were talking a little bit before we jumped on to the live show, and a lot of my motivation, I think, for getting into this space coming out of college. This is my first and only job coming out of school, which I know is rare, but I think there's a lot of benefit and momentum and kind of expertise I've been able to develop just staying in kind of a lane that I really loved and I enjoyed and I was able to go deep on. But I think a lot of the original motivation for it was just surrounding this like connection with the end user. So a lot of my buddies in college, after finishing up undergrad, a lot of the call was to go into banking, maybe go to New York or become like a trader or something like that. And the one thing I really liked about the personal finance or financial advisor opportunity was the ability to actually interface with the end user. It wasn't as though I was just going to be like evaluating a spreadsheet on Excel and be like, hey, I'm working really hard, but I have no idea like where my hours are going to like ultimately go to benefit. Whereas in this career, I was able to talk with people at all different life stages. I was able to talk with business owners in different sectors and industries, and that aspect of it has absolutely like turned out to be one of the things I enjoy most about what I do. It's just minimal monotony on a daily basis. I'm talking to different people with different backgrounds, different experiences, different ideas that they're able to share, and challenges that they're trying to navigate. So there's a lot of problem solving, but when I think about kind of that end user, like I know them. Like I know their name, I know their kid's name, I know their parents' name, and I know all the goals that they're working toward. And that's one thing I really love about the business I'm in right now, and this financial services career that I've decided to stick with over the course of my working career.
That's why you're good at what you do. Just from meeting you and speaking with people like Earl, and and he spoke of you very highly. I feel like that's probably why you're great at what you do, because you love the connection portion. And that's the part of, in any realm, especially sales, because it's somewhat sales. Would you say it's sales?
Yeah, a lot of it is just trying to like meet people where they are. So this maybe helps uncover, I think, one of the like anxieties people have around like money management and finances is just like they don't really know kind of where to go to do it. So ideally, like what we've tried to do is create a practice and kind of a deliverable where we can meet someone at any different kind of stage of life or level and approach. So like some things it might be you're talking to someone, it's really foundational. Like, hey, what are the best practices you can share with me? I'm starting out, like what should I focus, my cash flow on? So like maybe a lot of it is more like budget focused. Like what are some of the defensive or risk management considerations that someone wants to do? Whereas, if you're talking to someone else, like, hey, I've already set up a lot of stuff in my life. My life. I got some investments, I got some insurance, but like I don't have really a strategic plan. Can you help with the planning?
Right.
Like maybe I just need some input there. Maybe it's so a lot of it. What we ideally tried to do is create kind of different offerings, or that we could meet someone depending upon what their needs were. And that's been something that I think has been created a nice approachable thing on a topic that people otherwise feel a lot of anxiety around.
There's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, or they feel like they have to have it all perfected.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me I'm not getting extra steak in my Chipotle bowl. That's not happening.
Yeah, that's not a part of the budget we're going to cut back on. We need to find some buffer elsewhere.
Reach higher.
Can you double the meat at Chipotle and still get the burrito or the bowl?
I get the bowl.
Okay, because you know what I hate about doubling the meat? Random.
Yes.
Pausing.
Yes, please. Off the record.
You gotta say that. I'm grown. I don't gotta say that. But they can never wrap the burrito correctly after they do that.
No.
And I don't want 2 rolls of bread.
That's right.
But anyway, I'm going.
It's busting all in your mouth and stuff. It's just disrespectful.
Completely. Yeah. So we talked about it off camera a little bit. Why do you think we are intimidated by it? And you talked on it, spoke of it a little bit, but if you don't mind elaborating, and how do you get past that with people, like that intimidation of talking about money to someone? I've never met this person before.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've developed, I think, I've become like very desensitized as it relates to like asking people what they make, or at a time, just because I'm so exposed to talking about like death or risk management. Like it's just like it's very real things that like I don't want someone not to have that brought up to them. So I'm like I don't want to be the person that didn't bring it up to them. It resulted like a missing gap in their plan. So I've become very comfortable with it. But I'm also very understanding of the fact that like these things are just really kind of sensitive topics. So a lot of it initially is. I think one thing is that when you're talking with someone, ideally have it be someone that like has some, they have a good reputation, or they were referred to you by a family or friend, or you can see do they have good experience, or how long have they been in this space. And then once you get into actually maybe talking with a financial professional about this, I think a lot of it is trying to shed some of the idea that like you're not gonna you don't need to feel like 100% about everything that you've done. Like not everyone's going to have everything perfected. And that's okay. Ideally, what we try and do is engage with people on more of a like progress planning versus perfection planning idea, where like there's some good things that everyone's doing. Yeah. So identify those and be like, all right, those are great, good habits that you have in place. Like let's try and build upon those going forward, so that they can embrace more of a mindset where they're like moving the needle in the right direction versus they feel as though they have to have everything solved for at this very instant.
Yeah.
It's like that's not realistic.
No.
You're talking about like funding education for your kids or funding your retirement. Like it's not going to happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's
And that's
happen.
what we're talking about. The schools don't teach our kids how to live in the real world.
True.
They just literally don't. They don't teach them how to boil an egg anymore. They don't teach them money management. They don't teach them grocery lists and how much money is in your pocket versus how much you should spend at the store versus how much you should spend on toiletries. It's just not being...
Yeah. Were we ever taught that, though? Do you feel like we were taught that finance in school? I don't think we've ever were.
No. The closest we ever came was home ec.
Yeah, you know, I would say from a personal finance class, like that is definitely a missing ingredient, I would say, of both a high school curriculum as well as even at like undergraduate college level. I think that would be very beneficial. Like I studied economics, as an undergraduate, but I mean that was helpful probably in abstract to understand like, you know, micro and macroeconomics and things like that. So like that was useful and I think like applicable to like what I do. But when it comes to like more of that human emotion perspective, like a lot of the anxiety someone feels around finances is it's more granular, more kind of like in the weeds. It's like, hey, with my next dollar, where do I put it? Is it debt reduction? Is it short-term savings? Is it intermediate savings? Is it long-range savings? Yeah, is it double meat at Chipotle? And it's just trying to get a better handle of like what money's going where and why. And I think if you can connect it with the goals that are most important to someone in the near term, the intermediate term, or the long term, like that's the key ingredient.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't learn that until I got to college.
Yeah, and you're absolutely not alone there. And I think just getting a better sense of like, all right, well, if these are the things that are important to me, like how should I be carving up my finite resources to like achieve those goals that are relevant to me?
Right.
And it's not going to be any one thing.
No.
It's a combination of a couple different things you're going to be doing. And then ideally building upon those good habits going forward as you know, with increased cash flow or you know, maybe reduced expenses if you know, carve back on the double meat 2 days a week, something like that.
Right. I don't like that.
we said we're going to stop buying sneakers. I'm stopped.
That's
Deleting the StockX app off my phone.
He's a sneakerhead too. So
no, and I think you should be able to still keep your hobbies.
Yeah, totally.
And just don't splurge.
That's the part.
That's
you know
the
what?
part.
I recently stopped splurging.
Yes, but you have a reason.
Because of babies.
Because the
I
baby.
splurge on them now.
Yeah.
Completely do. So I love when I meet people that stay what you said. You found your calling early and you stuck to it.
Yeah.
I wasn't fortunate enough to do that. I had a lot of callings.
I stuck to a lot of stuff.
So you had an aha moment? Did you have an aha moment that made you go, I'm where I'm supposed to be? And then you built on it and created something amazing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's funny. Like so I've been doing this for 19 years now.
Okay.
So I've been in this space a long time, and I think a lot of maybe younger advisors would like look at me and they're like, "Oh, I really would wish I could trade places with Kurt." Like, you know, they have this infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, they've gotten through those hard years, but the reality is like all those things I went through
without them
early on, like I wouldn't be
where you
the
are.
the advisor I am today, or have the expertise I have today, had I not gone through that like 10,000 hours of like, you know, of mastery, and actually taken probably my third lap through that at this point in time. And like it's just a necessary, you know, prerequisite. But I do think that's like an important thing to like be really transparent about. And it's something that I think with the work that we do with people that are business owners and like, you know, they're entrepreneurs, it's a different kind of mindset. And there is a lot of stress and anxiety associated with like starting your own thing, and it's real. And I don't think you want to brush it under the rug because that's just not. I think you're selling. You know, you're being disingenuous about how you're explaining it. But like, the best analogy I've ever gotten around like what it's like to like start a business. I saw it in this like Inc. magazine article, and they likened it to the entrepreneur like riding a lion. So everyone around the entrepreneur is like, oh, look at that entrepreneur riding the lion. Like, they're so incredible. Like, look how brave they are. Like, that's amazing.
He has to be in control of that lion.
Whereas the entrepreneur sitting on the line is like, how the hell did I get on top of that goddamn line? And what do I got to do to make sure that this thing doesn't eat me? And like, that's real. Like, that like amount of just like stress and anxiety you have, like, that's a real part of like building a business. But like, I couldn't imagine it any other way. Like, that's that. I would trade that anxiety versus like the certainty of having someone else say like, hey, this is what, just determining kind of like the value or, whatever I might be doing. But I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was kind of a one event that kind of clicked it. It's probably been a couple different things that have like reaffirmed that I think I'm in the right space in the right lane. What was
the craziest thing? Like the day you're like, I love asking this question, and you're like, I'm about to quit. I don't want to do this. But you did it. If you can remember a story.
Was it a person? Was it a...
I had this is like early on in my career. I would say when I was, it actually was like real early on, but it was like so embarrassing that I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can keep doing this. So I go to meet this prospective client. So he went to the same college as me. He was a UVA grad. He's like, all right, I'll grab lunch with you. He's like, I don't know if I have a need, but I'll have lunch with you. I was like, all right, great. I got a meeting with a real person, and we're going to talk finance. So I'm meeting him at the Clydes in Reston Town Center.
Okay, I know where that is.
So I'm like kind of nervous because it was in my first couple months of doing this, and they have this like the turn what do they call those things with the doors that like the turnstile door we enter, and I get into the same slot as him because I'm following him so closely that like we're in there and now I'm in it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm like pressed up against this guy.
Oh no!
And so then we kind of shuffle like up to the hostess stand, and I was like, oh man, I'm really sorry about that. So I'm apologizing for getting into his slot, like in the in the rotating door that we're getting in, the turnstile door, and it was terrible. The rest of the meeting, I just like couldn't shed it. Couldn't shake it. Needless to say, he did not become a client. But it's one of those things in hindsight that like, I'm happy that wasn't one of the things that like ended up me like throwing in the towel. Because like I think a big part of like really any successful like venture is just like sticking around long enough to get lucky. And just like things click
Thursday night.
Stick around long enough to get lucky. No, man.
So you don't want to throw the towel too early on a Thursday night.
You don't
Not that time.
No, you don't. Man, entrepreneurship.
And I want to make sure that we cover the fact that we don't, as African American people, we don't talk about finance.
Please talk about that.
You'll never know who got the most in their pocket. You get more, they'll try to rob you or figure out how to take it or make, be better than you. What do you think about, what do you think would help a group understand, not be scared? Like what would be the baby steps they could take to kind of creep into there, not jump in, but just creep in?
No, that's a really good question. I think probably at a baseline level, one area where I think a lot of people could gain some elevated confidence around and clarity is around just cash flow. Just having a better handle, like, all right, with my money right now, like, where is it going? So, so we talk about this as part of our like CFO method, which is like our cash flow optimization system. And so we think about cash flow and money at kind of a macro level and a micro level.
Right.
So macro, I mean like kind of big picture, like where are the 5 places your money can go? So it can go to taxes, you can go to savings, you can go to consumption, it goes to housing, and it goes to risk management.
That's true.
So if we work backwards on that, risk management might be everything from like the insurance that you're required to have, like auto insurance or homeowners insurance, just like some of the defensive things. And then also too, it might be some like things like life insurance or just disability insurance. Do I have enough in case something happens to me? Like is my family going to be okay, or my loved ones? From a housing perspective, like everyone needs somewhere to live. So whether that's rent that they're paying or it's their mortgage, that's going to consume a certain amount of their available resources.
So is it as simple as just them making a budget?
The budget would be part of it. Budget would be part of it, and there's going to be like it's important to understand that like all 5 of those things are joined at the hip. So if someone like spends a ton on their house and they consume, and their consumption is really high, both for necessity things as well as like discretionary expenses,
they're never going to get out of the weeds.
They're going to be really hard pressed to have anything left to save.
Yeah.
So ideally, like they're all interconnected, but just getting a better handle. Like, all right, if there is an amount of my budget that I've allocated toward consumption, just make sure that like everything you're spending money on, you're actually deriving or getting value from it.
Right.
Because if it's something you're like, I'm spending on this monthly membership, but I'm not really using it that much. Like,
and I realized I had a bunch of them from Apple.
It's real. Yeah, and just like reviewing those things, like it's...
They literally like refunded me like $400.
Wow, you were just paying them?
They were just taking like $1 or $2. And me just not like... I'm not realizing that the little chunk of change is leaving.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it added up to $400. Bank of America is like, okay, we see that that's been happening for a while. We'll give it back to you.
And then ideally, with any money you identify like that, you find, it's like, all right, well, where do I repurpose that?
Yeah.
Is it like, do I send it into savings? Is there maybe like, is it debt repayment I need to work on?
A lot of us spend it before we even get it.
Yeah, so like as many like forced things as you can automate, like that's also really helpful. Whether it's things like a 401k plan where you have like an amount of your paycheck that's withheld, that's really useful.
It is.
Even when it comes to like cash, like having like a separate account where like it moves to for like, hey, this is my vacation fund, so like I know I got money for
different bank accounts.
And that's really useful. Like,
I do that because then I can go over there and I can,
I'm learning to take those steps.
Yeah.
I'm now separating and, like you said, get rid of all these little foolish
like little
debts.
subscriptions
I
that you don't even probably use.
Yes, but then you said something, repurposing that money. So savings accounts. You don't want to go into a savings account. There's different options other than savings that can actually give you a return on your investment. Where would you?
Yeah, no. So that gets down to more like the micro cash flow. So we drill down a little bit more of like, okay, I have the amount of money that I'm saving right now. Like, how should I distribute that? And so we like to use like a waterfall effect for this, where like the first thing you want to check the box on is like, just emergency cash reserves. Just having some money in like checking your savings. It's just liquid.
Just laying there.
It's not tied to the market, so it's not in an investment account where it's going up and down. It's there. It's in like a, like an interest yield, yielding savings account. It's there. It's for things like, hey, my water heater broke, or I got in a car accident. I got to pay my deductible. For this repair. So it's money that otherwise would end up becoming like a credit card balance.
Right.
Yeah. You ideally want this to be like, hey, this is a little bit of cushion that I can help a family member out if there's an emergency or something like that. So that's kind of like number one. You want to make sure you have some amount of like cash reserves. Generally speaking, anywhere between like 3 to 9 months of average monthly expenses is a good range to be in. Right. Even if someone's below that right now, like don't beat yourself up about it. Like don't be like, all right, well I got to give up. Like just be moving. Have a goal. To build up to that 3 months. Or if it's 5 months is a sweet spot for you. But once you get there, you're like, okay, what's next?
Right.
Like, how do I think about like kind of like I've checked the box on like I'm comfortable with 3 months. That's what I have in like cash reserves. Like what else should I be thinking about?
Yeah.
Other money that I'd also recommend keeping in cash would be what we call like near-term opportunities funds. So this is money that is going to be spent in the next like 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
So this might be for like a renovation project or like a big vacation that you're going to go on next year. So if it's happening in the near term, ideally you don't want that money exposed to market risk.
Right.
You want to make sure it's just readily available for whatever you're going to spend on it. So that's probably also money you'd keep in your cash reserves. You just have a different job description for that block of money. So you got like your rainy day funds, and then you have your like kitchen renovation project funds. Right. And then once you've done that, then you transition into like, okay, well, what about like longer range savings? Like what are some savings that could actually help me save with some of my tax exposure? So if you like 401k, ideally you want to be contributing to like, your if there's a 401k at your employer, make sure you're not leaving any free money on the table. So if your company matches 3%, put in that 3% yourself to make sure you're not. I can't. That's a great rate of return. Like 100%. You're guaranteed to kind of like get a 100% rate of return on the contribution you make into that account. Make sure you're doing that, and then ideally just kind of build upon that as cash flow permits. And then once people are like, all right, I'm maxing out my 401k plan. Like, what's next? Then you can start thinking about other overflow strategies. Make sure you're maybe funding some Roth IRA monies. There's maybe a taxable investment account. So there's always things that you can do. It's just being aware of kind of what options are on the menu and how you're prioritizing.
Yeah, a lot of us don't know about that, and a lot of us weren't taught about credit scores and how important those are. Because more often than not, cash flow doesn't
Is
really mean
impacting
anything.
it.
If you have good credit, they'll trust you to drop a lump sum on
They'll
you.
give you more money.
Yeah,
spend.
it's crazy because in my world, cash is everything. Oh, he has money, so and we can physically see it. And
But when he has to go buy something expensive,
it's in his mama's name.
he can't afford it because of the credit.
Yeah, his credit is tore up, and we were never told about credit.
But that's why I love the fact Money Man Kurt's here.
That's right.
Because he's
right.
gaming us. I love what you're speaking because I'm all involved in all of this. I'm really diving in. So my question to you then is, how do you get paid, if you don't mind sharing that? How do you get paid with a client? Is it a percentage? How does that work?
Yeah. So we have a lot of flexibility. So it depends upon kind of what the scope of the engagement is. So if it's one example is a consultative engagement.
Yeah.
So this would be what's referred to as our fee-based planning exercise. So it's like a fixed cost that we would charge for like the financial plan. And so that would be an example of, we come across someone, they're like, look, I need to get organized. Like,
and
I want some help.
financial plan is what you bring to the bank, correct?
Financial plan would be actually,
that's not the one.
That would not be what you bring to the bank. That would be more what you would use to help gain some clarity around like cash flow, how you're tracking for
I
education
can't think
planning.
of the exact name.
So it's not like a business valuation. We have that as part of our business planning offering, but this would be different than that. This would be like a personal financial plan
for yourself.
Yeah, for yourself. We'll talk about cash flow. We'll help like benchmark how people are pacing for like education funding for your kids. Like, what's it going to take, to support maybe 100% of like in-state tuition costs across, 2 kids aged 3 and 5.
They'll be rich by then.
And retirement plan. Like, and if there is a shortfall, just quantify, like, based upon what someone's already doing. Be like, all right, based on what you're doing, this is how we're tracking. There's a gap.
Yeah.
Here's some recommendations around how to close that gap. This is what it's going to take over the next 5-10 years, of additional savings.
And that's long term. A lot of people don't think long term as well.
Totally. But in the meantime, we'll give some immediate feedback around what to do with cash flow to make sure that those goals are going to be achieved. So that's more consultative. So like, we're just charging for our time.
Yeah.
But then with those recommendations, people have options around what they do with them. There might be some things that they feel comfortable self-executing on. They're like, yeah, this is, I like managing my own money. Like, this is great. Like, I like the portfolio feedback you gave me.
Right.
I'm going to self-execute on this stuff.
Right.
But then there might be other things that people like want some assistance with. They're like, I didn't realize that like I need more insurance coverage. Can you and your team help me evaluate how to close those gaps? So we could provide options around different insurance quotes with different insurance companies. They're like, all right, cool, I want to go with company B, and then we collect the commission from whatever company they decide to go with.
You brought up life insurance. What age do you think is feasible to start a person having life insurance? Is it when they're 5, when they're 1, when they're 20?
Yes, it's a really good question. I'll give you kind of a real life example of it. So all 3 of my kids, I got permanent insurance policies for right when they were born. So it's whole life insurance. It wasn't through Gerber. I did it through Northwestern Mutual.
Okay.
Northwestern Mutual.
And so the reason why I did it is a lot of my motivation around it was insurability related. So I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was a couple days before my 17th birthday.
Wow.
So as a result of that, like, I'm healthy. Like, I look after my dad. Like, a lot of times, like, I wouldn't really know. But my insurability, like, is impaired. I would be rated with any insurance carrier I would apply for. So as a result of that, when I got insurance as a young professional, like, I had to pay more for an equivalent amount of coverage than someone that was my same age, but like did not have type 1 diabetes, for example. So I knew that was a possibility across my kids, and so my middle daughter, unfortunately, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes last October. So she's 8 years old, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. To have it.
I have a family member as well that has.
Yeah, my mom has.
I have a family member as well.
Yeah, and it's. I mean,
she's young.
Yeah,
my baby just turned 9, so I know.
Yeah, and so as a result of that, though, like, she's got like a good amount of permanent life insurance already. Okay. But then the policy also has an option for her to increase that benefit in the future.
When she gets,
so it's nice because and even if I don't do this for my other kids, I know that like at least her, like, she can guarantee to like get another $1.5 million coverage without ever having to jump through any medical underwriting requirements. And so that was a nice, I attached a lot of value to that option, and like for her it's going to be a big difference. She's not going to be dragged down with like a rating for any of her insurance needs going forward.
Okay.
But yeah, so it could
So
be
you
it
said
could be
any
really
age.
could be really young for that, and invariably like the needs will be
Different.
like personalized. So it's just a function. So if it's a young professional that's like, hey, I'm recently engaged, like we don't have kids now, but we're thinking about having kids, we're trying to buy a
Definitely
house.
get some insurance.
Get some coverage in place when you're in a favorable position to do so.
Right.
I.e., you're young, you're healthy, your health profile is clean, and that way, you can accommodate for things becoming more complex on the
If
horizon.
they do. Okay. No, that makes
That's
sense.
a great question because I'm doing all that right now.
I know.
I'm doing all that right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing all that right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a GoFundMe or something for mine.
For your insurance?
Yeah. Do they take Medicaid?
So I was reading a lot about fiduciary.
Ooh.
Yeah, big word, right? I
Wow.
threw that out there because I've been reading. It was
Look
coming,
at you.
and I've been doing my work. So, do you all service that as well?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Can you explain that word?
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
fiduciary standard of care means that the advisor has to make recommendations in the best interest of the client. So versus having a recommendation be made where it's like self-serving,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh well, this
There's
recommendation
an
is
oath and
good for you.
everything. From what I understand.
Yeah,
too.
and so the fiduciary standard of care, that would apply. We act as a fiduciary in several different instances. One can be as part of those like consultative fee-based plans I was talking about before. Like all our recommendations are as though if I were you, these are the things I would flag for your attention. Here's like the 5 things I would focus on.
Because that can go left
flow.
in your position. There's people that take advantage of certain positions.
Because some people get commissions, from what I understand, off of recommendations.
Yeah, and so that is kind of another way like advisors are compensated. So one example that fee-based plan, we're just paying for the advice. So that's like the other instance where we're acting as a fiduciary is when we're managing assets for a client. So that would be like, hey, I'll just give you an example, and this is actually pretty common in like the DMV area. We come across professionals a lot of the time where they've worked at different companies. They're like, yeah, I've got like 5 old 401k plans in past companies. I've lost the password on one of them.
Yes.
Every account has a slightly different allocation than the next because I was different age when I was working at them. So like one of the biggest things of part of their getting organized with their finances might be like, hey, I just want to get my arms around those retirement assets. I want to make sure that they're coordinated, they're operating on a common front. So if we did a plan for someone, we'd probably give some recommendations to do that. Be like, hey, one recommendation I would make would be to consolidate and reallocate some of your old retirement accounts. You could do it within your current employer-sponsored plan, or you could do it within a rollover IRA. If you were to do that, here's how you could distribute those assets. So if someone's like, yeah, that sounds great. Can you help me with that IRA? Any money that we're managing for a client falls under it's an advisory account. So that has a fiduciary standard of care, which means that all our allocation and trading decisions have to be in the best interest of the client. That's a function of their risk tolerance, their investment time horizon. And so as we're building out the portfolio, the fees on that account are tied to what's called assets under management, or AUM. So there's a different fee or charge at different levels of assets under management.
I bet.
Yeah, but so even though there might be multiple accounts that like we're helping people out with, so there could be like one spouse has an IRA, another spouse has the other partner has an IRA, and they have another taxable investment account. Even though it's 3 accounts, they actually come together to calculate that fee. So as the total household assets under management grows, the assets under management fee decreases. So it's kind of like it's like the opposite of a marginal tax bracket schedule. So at larger, assets under management amounts, the fee actually decreases versus paying a higher, marginal tax.
This guy he's super.
I'm gonna be in my dictionary tonight.
I love how he explains it because he's so passionate about it.
But he'll break it down into layman's terms.
And that's what
we need, because we don't want to get in there and then we have no idea what they're talking about. They're dropping names, they dropping stuff that we never heard.
I had a
but
bad
he'll break
meeting
it down. Oh, you did?
Recently, and the guy
no.
Because I've been doing my research.
Yeah, he don't know you've been doing your research.
But then he also went so left that I was like, I don't even think you're talking to me.
No.
But the way you break it down, and
that's what I mean.
Well, so what I would love to see, I'm not intimidated about. But what I would love to see is, like, I understand you all would like to see more people become more financially,
especially in these days,
educated. And let's say somebody, I like to say layman's terms, somebody, small guy making $50,000 a year, comes to your office for that consultation. You're saying that you can help that person become more financially responsible.
Yeah, totally. So we could help maybe more with a plan. Be like, hey, here's some best practices we would flag for your attention, and just build upon that, going forward. And then invariably, a lot of times there might be something like execution related that they need help with too on the back end. So those are client relationships, and they might start out more of in a consultative manner, and then it might evolve into like, hey, I just moved jobs. I got to roll over my 401k plan. Can you and your team help with that? Right. So then it actually turns into more of a wealth management engagement, which is more that AUM, assets under management, like sort of a fee for the dollars that we're managing for them. So there's been many instances where, like, if I think about like our profile of our investment client book, I've been working with a lot of these professionals and families for like 15 plus years. So like, I know them from when they were like, second year associates at a law firm in DC, and then they've moved jobs, they've got promotions, they've become partner, they've started their own businesses, and so it's been been able to grow with clients over the last cycle. You can
trust with your $20. And let me tell you this. I wanted to ask a question about, because February will be coming, 7 months, 5 months, 6 months? Yeah, almost over, y'all. But and a lot of people will be getting their tax returns.
Yes.
10, 15,000. My girlfriend got 22,000 last year.
I always, they don't get me started.
But
anyway,
they work. They don't make that much when they work, and that's why they get that, I'm sure. But what are they supposed to be doing with this lump sum, because it's gone by March? It's
that's
gone by
a great
April.
question. What do you do with that tax return, that high amount that I don't get?
Yeah, don't fall prey to the radio advertisements of like, bring your tax return in, get a new car, or stuff like that. Don't do that.
It happens.
It totally does.
It's always, and a lot of these women don't have men that they can look at and say, well, babe, let's put our money together and do this and this and that. So they're hit with this large lump sum. They probably make $24,000, $30,000 a year. What should they be investing in, or what should they be doing with that money?
Yeah, so I'd say one thing, if there's any debt, higher interest debt, clear that out.
Clear it out.
Because it's tough to make headway if you're servicing like 20% plus.
You
like,
can't
credit
save.
Pay CarMax, y'all. Pay CarMax. He said, pay CarMax back.
You're not going to be able to really make. So that'd be one thing. Like clear that out.
Okay.
And then ideally, as we were talking about before, like, all right, is there an amount of cash we want to have just for like rainy day purposes? Like, check the box on that amount. And then if there's still some left over, then you can start to think about like, all right, well, can I be maybe setting aside some money to be longer range? Could it go into
they'll probably touch it throughout the year, so should it be in a CD?
So if it's money they do need liquidity for, just keep it in the bank. But ideally, don't keep it in their checking account where they can access it via ATM. Like in many instances, it's actually useful. In certain instances, to actually set up like almost like an online savings account where like you have to go and log in to like move the money back in your checking. And it's a little cumbersome, because you got to go to that extra but it affords you to kind of pause, be like, all right, what am I moving the money for? Is it really worthwhile? And so that's really helpful, because if you have something that automatically transfers like at your current back, if you're really disciplined, it can work. But if you know you're not, then having that extra step of having it be a higher yielding like online savings account, like that's actually a really good way to
so a savings account that you have to literally go in.
Ladies, that 20,000, other than give it to Santi,
about this 20,000.
Other than give it to me.
That's an awesome return.
But I mean, it is. I've gotten a little bit to almost that, but I didn't do all
Rex,
that I could have done.
Rex, are you hearing this?
I didn't do all that I could have done with it. Yeah. And then it's summertime and now I don't have any money, and I'm back to where I started.
Yeah,
I'm always being told that debt, get rid of debt. This is a random fishbowl.
Okay.
Just to throw things off.
You put something new in there?
I love it.
And then you read that, and then we.
If you don't like it, you can get something else, because sometimes
that sounds really strange.
They're very strange.
All right, let's see if we're in the weird lane or not. Life out.
That's OG Frank.
I was gonna say what.
That's an OG Frank one. He'll put something random.
That might have been a.
Because what he'll do is he'll make up a random question and lie like you read.
Pull your life out.
Life out.
Ah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
What are some of the nicknames you have for customers or coworkers?
Oh
wow.
You're not allowed to say that.
I don't think you can say that. Can you?
No, you can't. You ain't allowed to say that.
Do you have some?
I do. I used to call her Big Shoes. Her shoes never fit, and they be flopping off the back, and she had to put a Band-Aid on there. And I don't know why every paycheck I be waiting for her to like 3 days later have some new shoes, and she never had no new shoes. I don't know if she thought she was gonna grow into them or what, but I call her Big Shoes.
Big Shoes. That's not a bad name. I guess you can have a name, Kurt.
Yeah, no, we got some clients. I can't share any of those, but there are some funny pairings of like first and last names for sure across some of our clients that you're like, wow, that actually paired up.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, because we've like interfaced with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people
Yes.
at this point in time. But let me think about some like colleague nicknames. I'm trying to think if I got anything cool and exciting.
Yeah,
I'm thinking now. Big Shoes got me. Do I have something? I had a client today that my thing is those customers that think that you handle all aspects.
all of it.
And
you called me,
because
you took my money.
I work for organizations, so I'm W-2.
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
I don't have control of that. I'm not even part of that department, guys. So that is one of my things. That's I don't have a name for that yet. I think I can say that name online. Or
no.
I can't tell you what I call them. So what do you do for fun, Kurt? Besides,
because we did talk about music a little bit.
You love this.
Yeah, so I love what I do. So when I'm not when I'm not working, I don't. When I'm not working, I like riding my mountain bike.
Wow!
I'm a big biker.
I fell off a couple of those.
So I got a funny story. So this is like a pandemic hobby that I ended up picking up on. So after I moved out to Arizona at the beginning of the pandemic with my family, and ended up like navigating an amicable separation with my ex. So my ex and my kids are still in Arizona full time, but I split time between Arizona and DC now.
Good baby.
And so one of the things I like started doing out in Arizona was like biking a lot. So I bought like a mountain bike at first, and I bought like a gravel bike. I ended up becoming friends with this like group of like bike shop guys, and it was like so much fun. We used to go ride on like Tuesday evenings, like we go to like a happy hour, and then like we ride home and stuff.
You have the outfit.
I'm not like a bike short sort of type.
I want to see the outfit
with a little flip up hat.
Yeah, well, I did. Yeah, so I wasn't like a road biker because that's more of that where you're like speed. This is more like I'm trying to think. Would be the best.
I can see you in the all spandex.
Yeah, I could pull it. I can't
pull it. I'm not gonna pull it yet. Give me like 10 more weeks.
I can't even pull it.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. It was a really fun kind of new hobby I picked up. And now, like when I'm biking out, it's like 116 degrees in Arizona. Right now.
That's why I said wow.
So when I go out now, it's like you go out, you have like 3 bottles of water.
Yeah,
you can only be out for like. Specifically if you're going during the day.
No, it's hot.
It's real hot.
You're shedding a lot of weight.
Oh god, ton of water. You're almost like to like keep the moisture. Like
one thing they did say is that you never forget how to ride a bike. It's true.
Yeah.
But he's on a whole different level.
I'm not going nowhere but to the corner and back.
I mean, Arizona's hot.
It is.
And it's so funny. A lot of my friends are into biking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, Jay, Rex, we had one of our old co-hosts. He got into biking heavy, and they're trying to get me out there. And I'm like, I don't think I could pull it. Maybe give me like 10 more weeks, and I get my rock body on. Then maybe I go out there. But I don't think I'm putting on the little shorts.
If you put them shorts on, please let me know. If you go put them on,
shorts,
please.
I don't know. You're a very confident man.
Yes.
To wear those shorts.
But most of they got the legs and all that. They just be in the don't be in traffic.
They be in great shape.
I'm glad you riding in the mountains because the rest of them be in traffic.
Especially in DC.
Oh, I can't stand that.
They are in traffic.
That meme you posted the other day with the lady that hit the front of the car.
Oh, the old lady.
That was beautiful.
So I post some crazy things.
He be posting some wild stuff.
Because I like everyone to laugh because entrepreneurship is tough, and we were talking about that. You said it's like riding a lion.
Yeah,
it is so tough. And
what I use
to get past it is to laugh. Laughter is my way.
You gotta laugh through it.
To laugh, and I know it's hard, but like you said, you keep on grinding, you keep pushing. You went through that turnstile, but that didn't stop you. You know what I mean? And that had to be very awkward because you're very tall.
It's so hard.
So you're like towering over him.
It was as bad as you could imagine it being.
Did he go? What?
This guy he's like, what, bro? What are you doing?
All on my back.
It was terrible.
And that just made me think of Pee Wee's bike. Rest in peace, Pee Wee.
Herman.
Yes. Rest in peace, Pee Wee. That's another
die.
part of my childhood is gone.
Did you see his movie on Netflix? But are you a movie? Are you a movie buff?
Yeah, I don't think I haven't seen the Pee Wee Herman thing.
It's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It was that, and Pee Wee looked great. I'm surprised he passed away. He looked amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you do? You say so biking. You say you're a movie guy as well. You're a movie buff.
Yeah, no, I'm into movies. I took my kids to go see the Barbie movie the other week.
Oh my goodness!
How was it?
It was fun. It was so funny though. We were coming back from we went to Legoland in California.
Yeah.
And on the way back, I just was looking at like kind of the different routes we could take. I was like, oh, like I've never seen Palm Springs.
So
like,
let's drive through there.
Drive through Palm Springs, and literally, again, it's the same temperature it would be in Phoenix. It's hot as hell. But anyway, I'm there. And then, like 3 hours later, we're watching the Barbie movie back in Phoenix, and I was like, I literally was just in Barbie
right
Land.
there, yeah.
Because like Barbie Land is Palm Springs. It's this oasis where everything's all nice. And then you drive through the desert.
I heard it was more for us than it was for the kids.
Oh yeah. There was definitely some like
because I heard one mother that she
thing.
just got up and walked out with her kid because he was this, and I was like,
Barbie.
I'm like, come on now, it is PG-13, so like.
Yeah, I guess I broke that rule across my.
I
always break that rule.
I recently watched. We're movie guys. We just sit here and we talk about movies and stuff. I liked Mike Myers just did something on Netflix called The Pentaverous.
Okay.
Oh no, that's scary, ain't it?
Oh, it's funny.
That sounds scary.
It's Mike Myers, Austin. Like he does.
Oh,
all
that
the
Mike Myers.
Oh
no, I got this sweating and everything.
It's the Mike Myers. Like he did all these characters. It was a great show. It's a great thing. My question I love to ask everyone, and I appreciate you coming here and talking to us, and then we'll. I don't want to hold you for too long because I know we're in the middle of nowhere. We're far. Yeah. We are far. But what motivates you every day? Because you got past that time from when you started. You found your aha moment. You're in it. But I know there's days and there's times that you were probably about to give in, and because we all go through them. Your 3 motivators in life and why, and there's no rules to it.
Yeah, no, I think number one would be my kids, just being a good example for them, not just like talking about hard work and stuff like that, actually demonstrating it to them. I think, I was fortunate to, when I was growing up, my dad he worked for the federal government, but like there was never anything I needed or wanted that we didn't have, and so like I absolutely want to make sure that my kids similarly grow up in a household where like those baseline,
so that's a start.
Baseline necessities were met. But then above and beyond that, I also want to, demonstrate kind of like what's possible and kind of the benefits of thinking big and
I like that.
hopefully be a good example to them in that regard. The other area would be, for my my team. So like I think about there's really like very little I want for myself, like from a like material perspective anymore. So like if I could think about like, for example, like real estate transactions I'd be most excited about. It would be people that like clients buying their first house or like my team members buying their first house. Like those are like I'd get way more like psychological revenue from something like that.
That's
just like seeing that happen. And then the final thing is just, and this is, as part of our practice, the most important thing is just making sure that like we're bringing it for the individuals that we work for. So like the families and the business owners, like helping them problem solve and, helping them get confidence and clarity around like how they're deploying their resources, like how they're working toward their goals. They feel good about it. They feel like they got a good team behind them. That we're communicating with them clearly on it, and they're actually going to like follow through on, on those aspects. I'd say if there's like a lot of times people ask me about like, well, what's like the best thing, what's the best thing I should do with my money, or like from an investment like
try
recommendation
to sum it all
standpoint.
The one
conversation. Honestly, like, I would say a couple things here would be like your most important thing would be like time in the market over timing the market.
Yeah.
So you just want to have, if I think about kind of 2 ingredients to like a successful investment plan, it's going to be behavior. Like you want to be doing the right behaviors when you are
Financial
investing.
discipline.
And then the second thing is that in order to maintain that behavior, you want to have a good process around that.
Right.
So like when I think about working with our clients, like we just want to be able to provide them with a lot of confidence around like the process that's going into their money management, because the reality is this is really like kind of fascinating study. So if you track like market rates of return from 1926 to 2021, so this is like 95 years of data. And this
great.
is and we're looking at this the data that they're looking at was like U.S. large cap stocks. This is like big U.S. companies that you would like recognize their names, like GE, Microsoft, Google, et cetera. Like, and again, not all those companies were around over that time frame, but like if you look at like market performance, if you're just invest in any one single year over that time frame, your probability of having like a positive rate of return 74%. So not bad.
Oh, that's
maybe
awesome.
better than what you would think it would be.
Yeah.
But time is your friend when it comes to investments, because then when you extend your time horizon up to 5 years, it jumps up. So you're invested for 5 years without exiting. Jumps up to 87%.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Well, now like I'm feeling a little better about my kind of probability of a favorable outcome. Then you extend it to 15 years, it's 100%.
Wow.
So the goal is that you don't want to exit during those time frames. So like you want to make sure that like you have like the right job description for the right dollars on the balance sheet, so that like, all right, well, this is longer range money, this is kind of 10+ year money, I'm okay with that being volatile. Like I don't need to panic out of the market and like sell when it's unfavorable to do so. And in certain instances it's easier said than done. The media is saying you should sell, exit out, we're going off a cliff.
Crazy.
And it's tough to like maintain that
but that's why we need someone like you.
And not to be scared.
That's why
to
we
say
need.
This is what we have to spend for this, and that. People are so used to instant gratification.
Totally.
I don't think it's something I've
being
been
broke
learning.
before you get the next check.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that, not for many people, that you can really do on your own. Do you have an advisor?
Yeah, so like so essentially like my business partner Jason would probably be the one that I'm using as my sounding board, as my accountability partner.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and so with that, I mean, it's just having an accountability partner, someone that can kind of check you on things like, hey, you're not really practicing what you're preaching here. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Like, everyone's susceptible to it. So like,
we all need that nudge.
We're human.
We're all fallible.
We're all human. We're all human.
Totally. And so having that accountability partner and just making sure it's someone that you trust, respect, and communicates with you, like that's kind of what ideally you want to find.
Another question I have for you is, what made you stay here and do it? What made you stay in the DMV and build your business?
Yeah, that's a really good one. So I feel really fortunate to have built a practice kind of headquartered and founded in the DC metro area. Like I think the marketplace is incredible. It's such an awesome
booming.
It's close to a recession proof economy, part of the market. It's part of the if I talk to other peers or counterparts in different parts of the country.
I've lived in Florida.
Yeah, there's time periods that people have felt kind of the economic downturn a lot more than like we feel it in DC, and so that's been one aspect. It's a very healthy market. It's a nice mix of both individual professionals as well as closely held business owners or like small businesses and stuff like that. And so that's been great. And then even with the the family relocation out to Arizona with me, it's been cool because I still, it's almost as though like being removed from DC like a certain number of days per month. I appreciate it almost more like coming back. It's like I'm back in the mix. And, like it's great to get the energy here, and it's been really I've enjoyed. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, that's so tough to cross kind of this split existence, and I was like, God, it's actually been really.
You learn to appreciate it when you come back here.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate a lot of things that when I was in it, I don't think I kind of looked up and it's like, there's Lincoln Memorial.
Hindsight
like it's so much history and so beautiful.
I say the same thing because I moved to South Florida for a while. I moved around a little bit, but when I came back, I'm like, man, I didn't notice the Smithsonian is here.
Yeah.
The Martin Luther King Memorial.
Absolutely.
I haven't been to any of them.
No way. Ever? Even in school?
No, I wasn't allowed on a lot of field trips.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
I mean, the only one I fought to the death to go to was the Holocaust Museum because I just had to go. I have this thing with that time and yeah.
But you have to go. I love.
I'm going to take
I
the
love
kids.
the art museum.
My kids have been to All of them, even the Black History Museum. I haven't been. I've been to the Holocaust Museum a couple of times.
You haven't been to the Black
How old-
History Museum?
How old are the kids?
Oh, all of them? 27, 22, 15 tomorrow, and 9.
So they're all good ages for DC museums. I used to, when my kids were younger, like I like Baltimore. Actually, it's really good. Like younger
I like the
kid stuff.
aquarium.
The aquarium's good. The science museum up there is really solid.
Yeah.
And then once they get up to like, I'd say like 10 plus.
Yeah.
Then I think they become a lot more like the Air and Space Museum, the Smithsonian. Like I think there's like more things that they would appreciate kind of in DC.
Yeah, the younger ones that I do
Baltimore.
the aquarium.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
And the what is the
Rick
one with the
Rex,
He
Baltimore.
ain't listening.
I always try to get this guy. I'm like,
The
yeah, we
other
gotta
one, the
get something to
planetarium.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
I used to love the
I
planetarium.
like the planetarium as well.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
now I
Kurt,
just get high.
thank you so much for coming on the show. I really enjoyed your
I mean,
time.
I think it's all. We got to have him back.
We
too.
got to do it again. We got to do it again. My question we love to ask our guests is, do you have a question for us? But also another question I had is your goal for today. Because when Earl reached out to me and we spoke, I'm like, okay, Earl, all right. You watch our show, Earl?
Right. You sure you want to come over here?
So that's my question. How'd that all come about? We talked about it briefly, but I'd love to hear it on camera.
No,
I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, so one thing I will say, I'll answer your second question first. Absolutely mission accomplished. Like this has been a ton of fun.
Oh,
I've
wow.
really enjoyed meeting you both and chatting with y'all and appreciate the audio support from
Yes.
us. And yeah, this has been fantastic. And I think my question for you, and I ask this a lot of like any entrepreneur or business owner I'm talking to, just like as you were kind of building your brand, just some takeaways around things that have been like particularly helpful, like kind of in this environment of like perceived sameness where like it seems like everyone's got a podcast. Like how do you
Right.
differentiate? Because I think the same sort of thing kind of within the financial space, like, oh well, how are you different from any other
Yeah.
financial advisor? And I've spoken about some things of like how we approach people and stuff, but I'd love to hear kind of like what's your
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a great question. If I could think off the top of my head, and I would like to ask Rex that question too. I feel like I feel like you're sitting down. I love when I watch it, and I watch because I listen to our podcast every day. I listen to different early episodes, and I try to get better and better at it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we talk to so many different people.
Yes.
And I feel like that is what is our differentiation, is that we're able to have a rapper that's platinum
Mm-hmm.
sit on that
Yeah.
couch and have a conversation. And then we have someone like yourself speaking about financial advising.
Yes.
And then we had a gentleman that spoke of pain management one
Yes.
day. And he contacted us as well. Came here from the Poconos.
Then we had the gentleman from Africa who was building.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was helping clean the
Water supply.
water supply
Mhm.
in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like going in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his cat caught malaria
And coming out.
and coming out and surviving, but still goes back and he's helping build these cities and he's
That's
learned.
awesome.
Yeah.
And he does it within 30 days. Like his plan is like, with 30 days, I want to clean
Water supply for this area.
And he does that. So having those different type of people on the show,
Makes it worth it.
I feel like that's what is our differentiation. And then people just get along with us. And then having Quana here has been it as well, because I feel like no one has a Quana.
They
That's
don't.
it too. That's
They
it too.
don't. But if you have $40,
you can have a Quana. You're hilarious. Well, hey, look, contact Kurt.
yeah,
on
because
what
he
to
could probably
do.
give me 45, right?
He'll tell you what market to put
That's
it into.
right.
Get
That's
consultation.
right. That's right.
I would love to hear what you think. Why is it happening?
What makes us different?
Yeah, what's making us stand out?
We're definitely all of the DMV. So we're all from different parts of Maryland, Virginia, and DC. We've all been here most of our lives. We love where we are. We love people. We want to bring everybody together. There's a lot of segregation going on. We do different genres of music. We do different businesses. We just try to bring our community together. I also try to go out when I host shows. I do a lot of community events. So it's just about keeping a community, a safe community, where you can be yourself and be heard. A lot of people don't feel heard, and I think we do give people a voice at times that don't feel like that they're heard.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
after this, I'm
was
charging
great.
$45. Thank you.
Inflation's real.
Inflation is real.
Hey, look, I saw online that bacon. I heard the price of bacon is about to go up.
No
man.
way.
They said the price of. I mean, you can't get a pack of bacon now. I feel like it's $12.
It's
for a
not.
pack. And
Maple Brown. Maple Brown, I bought 2 packs today. There's $3.99 a giant.
Yeah.
A giant. I'm just about to buy more because chicken wings went up.
Hold on a second. I'm going to beep the name of that company because they are not promoting us.
Once they hear it, they'll want to. Let them hear it first.
I let them hear it. Okay.
Let them hear it first.
All right. Hey Rex, why are we standing out, Rex? Why are we standing out? Turn on your mic. Why are we? You have to answer that question.
Hello.
I hear
Check.
you.
Yeah.
Check.
I hear you very well, loud and clear.
Hearing myself.
Look, he gonna fix himself.
You gonna talk?
I honestly cannot fix myself.
He gonna
Do
fix
not
himself.
know why I don't hear myself.
I can hear you.
We can hear
Since
you.
I can't hear myself, I can't answer.
You can answer the
come
question.
on.
You can answer the question.
Come on, we hear you. We hear you.
I think it's because we care about each other more than we care about money.
There it is.
We care about this podcast,
We do.
and we care
Yes,
about
we do.
everybody else.
Yes, we do.
So
Yeah.
that's my answer. That's
That's
all I
beautiful.
got for you.
From Rex Corolla's guy.
The one and only.
Rex Corolla. Kurt. It's been a blast.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a blast.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can
Thank
you
y'all.
please
Thank you.
tell
Appreciate you having
everyone
us.
where they can find you at again? Please go. You have to get a consultation time with my boy Kurt over at Northwest Mutual on K Street.
Yeah, so it's K Street Financial is our Instagram. Our website is www.kstreetfinancial.com. And personal Instagram is KurtPatrick703.
And he's in the prime real estate because you're right on K Street.
Yeah, so we were
That's
founded
beautiful.
at 1801 K, and we moved our office. It was actually mid-pandemic. It wasn't even like nobody was involved in the move. It's just like the office moved from like K Street to 2001 Pennsylvania. So now we're on 2001
Oh, wow.
Pennsylvania. So we're around the corner from our old
Wow.
spot. But we started on K, so we still give our nod back to.
Hey, look,
to
that's great real estate. That was a great location. You were across from the park there on K Street.
No, we weren't quite. I know exactly what you're talking about, but
Okay.
yeah, kind of like half a block up from that.
Okay.
I know the park you're.
But that's nice too.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great part of town.
Yeah.
You have access to like DuPont, Circle restaurants and stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's cool.
And
Yeah, I
on
love that Golden
Pennsylvania.
Triangle area.
Yeah, I
So,
love it.
yeah,
I
it's
love
cool.
it over there. It got the food is decent. It's got
That's what
it got to step up. A lot of restaurants went
Yeah.
down due to COVID. I lost a lot of my favorite little mom and pop shops. Actually, have closed their doors. I used to go to a nice kebab spot over there.
I love kebab.
Love kebabs. But you're on Pennsylvania Avenue. Wow, man. You know, you're motivating. The story is motivating. You know, entrepreneurship, that's dope.
Yeah.
Everything that you've done, and you're on all gas, no brakes. You're all gas, no brakes, man.
Oh man, I love it. As soon as I heard the name of the podcast from my work colleague, I was like, I shut the front door. I was like, I gotta get on this show. This is the best
Yes.
name ever.
We gotta do it again, and then we're gonna have your partner here on Wednesday. Yo, stay tuned.
Yeah.
K Street Financial
Coming with consistent content,
all the
original
time.
content.
Please check out Kurt.
Yes.
Please check him out because he's gonna do.
And if you missed
he's
it,
gonna
just
do
hit
you right.
us up and we got you. We'll get you connected.
I feel like you're gonna do him right, man.
Yeah.
I really dig your.
We not
energy and
blowing.
your
We not
presence.
blowing our tax money this year, ladies. Hit
Hey,
me up.
Hey, look,
Hit
20.
me up.
Wait a minute, 20 grand. Give me 5, and then I'll enjoy.
It all depends on how many kids you get. You get 2,000 per child.
Rex, you know, God,
You get
I always-
2,000 per child.
Anyway, so where can they find you at?
I am Quantum Volin. I am on Instagram, Facebook. I will be joining Big Go. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Snapchat. I'm everywhere you want to be.
Everywhere. Shout out to my boy Rex Corolla,
The one and only.
The one and only. Love that guy very much. That's my brother right there. Shout out OG_Frank.
Hey,
Shout him out. Wish he was here, but he
Catman.
takes care of himself. Yeah, Catman. Yo, and I'm at Super Saiyan Santi, but most importantly, at AGNB Podcast. Look what we're doing here, man. We are
yes.
bringing you all like all this great game.
Great
game.
content.
Please check out K Street Financial. Please check them out. They are right in the corner. DMV business,
Yes.
man. DMV.
Get your money up in real
Pennsylvania.
life.
Man, I'm trying.
Get your
Rex,
money
that's
up
why I
in
want to
real
put our
life.
studio. We should rent a spot right next to To Kurt.
I got some girls that work that corner.
Yo, peace out, guys. Thank
We
you
love
so
you.
much. Love you. Goodbye.
I had her finding a way, new crib in LA. She want it all in her face, counting nothing but faces. New drip she tasted, just follow the drip while you hating. Hell nah, I ain't racist, got on black, white, and Asian. I had her finding a way, I had her finding a way, I had her finding a way, I had her finding a way. Summertime with a drop top downtown. Shawty hitting my line, said she ready to go right now. I'm rolling that Zaza in my blunt right now. I'm floating so high, don't think I'm gonna come down. I'm turning, I'm Crenshaw, I hope that you ready. They're real love, a thriller, them haters won't get it. I stir it up when I'm spinning, hard head, don't listen. Mama said get digits, daddy said keep pippin', that's just how I'm living. That nigga low down, keep on my full round. Hop in my pool now, she wanna go down. I tell her to cool down, we in a mood now. Rio just touched down, he got a bust down. I had her falling away, new crib in LA. She want it all in her face, counting nothing but faces. New drip she tasted, just follow the drip while you hating. Hell nah, I ain't racist, got on black, white, and Asian. I had her falling away. I had her finding a way. I had her finding a way. I had her finding a way. I had to find a way. I had to find a way. Bitch, stay in your play. Bitch, stay in your play. I be riding for her. She ride me like no insurance. Got that fire on me like I got endurance. I just spit 500. That pussy super soaking. Man, I ride on Moreland. She said she from Oakland. Fuck that bitch, put Chanel on shorty. Now she call herself this. I had her finding a way, crib in LA. She want it all in her face, counting nothing but faces. New drip she tasted, just follow the drip while you hating. Hell nah, I ain't racist, got on black, white, and Asian. I had her finding a way. 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 Find a new way.
What up, my boy? Huh? What up, my boy?
You know, I'm trying to go to that side of town, Rex. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. That was great. It's a ton of fun.
Dak. Get rid of Dak. Dak first, because ooh, look at that. It's one of those days.
That was nice. Turn my thing back.
Hold on.
The video still going.
Huh?
The video still
The
going.
camera's still going. Well, audio will pick up. But yeah, we got the video from the camera still good.
Mike.
So
Put my mic back on.
no need to even turn the mic because the mic just went out because the power glitch. That's the power outage. This is thunderstorm day.
No,
Well, guys, this
that
is
was all
real
the drug
stuff.
dealers that don't want us to have that money back.
Yo, like, they still want
we were supposed to
20
flip
grand.
that money.
But you know
don't
what?
let nobody
Because
flip your tax
You
return
love
late.
what you do so much. We're gonna take a break off
It's back
that.
on. It's back on.
It's back on.
Get back on with that.
Well, what we're gonna do is this. 'Cause Rex is the man. That's why.
That's right.